I don't normally make a video 2 days in a row about the same subject, but this Brittney Griner case is getting crazy. Brittney Griner is in deep trouble. I mean, big time trouble. With everything going on in the world right now, the last thing on Putin's mind and the last thing on our government's mind is Brittney Griner. But I didn't know it was going to get this bad. Her family needs to be really concerned. Let's check out what happened. So I've gone through and highlighted this article that was posted by CNN because there's some really dissettling, unnerving things here that this woman may not come home. I mean, obviously, maybe 5-10 years. Who knows? Maybe they can get her out once the war is over. But right now, our people are telling her family, hey, it's going to be really tough. The headline, it's going to be very difficult to get Brittney Griner out of Russia. That's the headline. That's what they led with. That's how tough this thing is getting. Who knows where it's going to go? If you haven't seen the movie Midnight Express, you might want to go ahead and download it on Netflix and check it out. Drug laws in other countries can be really strict, and the punishment's quite severe. On top of that, there's another variable here that I would have thought she'd already overcome, but it seems like it's beginning to rear its head. So I scrolled down a few paragraphs in this article, and there's some things that you really have to delve into that are really going to make you just go, whoa. The first one, as a U.S. citizen was passing through the Green Channel at the Russian airport upon arriving from New York, a working dog, as we know, sniffed out that she was carrying some drugs. Yes, we understood that. The customs inspection of her luggage revealed that she had some hashish oil. Just want to let you know, nobody has disputed that. Not Sheila Jackson Lee, not Brittney's wife, not the WNBA. Nobody has disputed that she was caught with hashish oil. Pretty cut and dry case of smuggling in drugs, and nobody is denying it. Now here's something, if I could have highlighted it in red, I would have done so. It said the arrest happened in February, but the exact date was not given. Did her wife, did the WNBA, did her lawyer, did nobody know where she was for weeks? Did that not come up in discussions? How is this just a story today? She was arrested in February and nobody said anything. Now here's where it gets really scary. Her whereabouts since her arrest are also uncertain. Nobody knows where she is. Well, I shouldn't say that. We know somebody knows where she is. But does that mean her family doesn't? Does that mean the WNBA doesn't? Where is Brittney Griner? Where are they holding her? Now this is chilling. This is really chilling. If I was a family member, I don't know what I'd do. A member of the U.S. House Armed Services Committee said it's going to be very difficult to get Griner out of Russia. Yikes. I mean, just think about that for a second. Seriously, think about that. Step back and just think that a member of the United States government has told her family, and also CNN, that it's going to be even difficult to get her out of Russia. That's frightening. But she had to have known. I mean, what were you thinking bringing these drugs into Russia? So Democratic Representative John Garamendi of California goes on to say, our diplomatic relationships with Russia are non-existent. So he's trying to let the family know at this point, this is really bad. I mean, you can't really negotiate for her release if there are no relationships. We have nothing to discuss with Russia right now. Maybe in time, but this woman is going to sit in a jail cell for a while, obviously. Now, this is something I didn't see coming. I mentioned it yesterday, but I thought that maybe she had gotten over that hurdle. The next paragraph says, and I quote, Russia has some very strict LGBT rules and laws. Wow. I mean, seriously, I knew that. I think a lot of people know that some of these countries over in Europe have very strict laws on gays. Very strict. That's terrifying. If I were her, I'd be scared shitless right now. You see, she had been playing this entire time for years in Russia, and nobody brought up the LGBT laws overseas. I think you'd have to be a moron not to know that some of these countries are not as diversified as United States. They really don't care about LGBT. Some of those countries throw people off buildings if they're gay. Some of those countries behead people if they're gay. But you chose to go play in Russia. I figured somebody would have said, hey, you sure about this? You sure you want to have this black, gay, pronoun using woman, he, they, whatever pronoun? You want this person playing in Russia? Do you really want to go over and play in Russia? Are you friggin' nuts? And then beyond all that, you decide you're going to go ahead and bring in drugs. Something's not right with these people. I'm telling you. I'm sick of the wokeness. I'm sick of CNN. I'm sick of all these people trying to give excuses, and nobody is drilling down to the core issues. She's gay, but she brought drugs into Russia. Now she may never return from Russia. And if she does return, it's going to be years maybe, unless somebody can do something. I don't know. I know one guy who might be able to get her out, but they're not going to look to him, are they? So what happens over here is that everyone postures and they do the normal stuff that the left does over here, and they created a petition, and there's thousands of people who've signed it on change.org saying, we got to release Brittney, which Putin, he doesn't give a shit. That doesn't really matter. This kind of virtue signaling does not matter at this point. It's over. You need some hard negotiations. And I don't think there's people in place in this government who are going to be able to get her out because she's a black gay woman. And then they continue with the same BS. Brittney is a beloved global citizen. Not that beloved. She's sitting in a jail cell somewhere in Russia. If she was a beloved global citizen, you would think that the Russians would let her out. But they're not. And despite the fact that this woman is in jail on her own doing, smuggling drugs into Russia, they've turned this into some sort of diversity claim, and they're talking about the pay scale between the WNBA and the NBA. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these people. This is ridiculous. And of course, our State Department's like, we're going to do everything we can. We're going to, every time a citizen is arrested overseas, we stand ready to provide all appropriate consular services. Yeah, that's going to work. You just said there's no relationship in existence with Russia, but you want, the consulate to help out. Not going to happen. But this is where it gets funny. Sheila Jackson says she worries that Griner's case will be used for political purposes. My biggest fear is that she'll become a political pawn, said the politician. I mean, think about that. She's complaining that this may become a political football, not realizing she's the one who's the politician. What the hell is wrong with these people? Like I said, I don't normally do videos back to back on the same topic, but this woman is in trouble. There is nothing Sheila Jackson Lee is going to do for her. There's nothing the WNBA is going to do for her. She's going to have to spend a crap load of money on a Russian attorney and hope that this attorney can work with the Russian government to get her out. But as I said yesterday, that's not front of mind for most Russians right now. They're locked in the middle of a war in Ukraine. They don't know where they're going to eat. PayPal pulled out. MasterCard pulled out. Visa pulled out. Every store you can imagine is pulling out of Russia. People are trying to figure out how they're going to eat and stave off a nuclear war. I got to think Brittney Griner is way down on the checklist here. In fact, I would think they would probably laugh. Hey, listen, can we talk about Brittney Griner? What? We're about to drop bombs here, and you want us to stop, put this on hold, and talk about Brittney Griner, someone who smuggled drugs into our country. Are you insane? Yes, they are. They are insane. I feel bad for Brittney Griner. I wouldn't want to see her detained forever. I wouldn't want to see her there for, 5, 10 years. That's really long for a simple drug charge like hashish oil in a vape pipe. But you made your bed, you lie in it, and there's no one else who's responsible for what she did. And now CNN and everybody else can just, oh my God, we got to get Brittney out. And I hope you guys do. But at some point, the left has to realize that people have personal accountability. Fall on a sword. Say you're sorry. I haven't seen an apology one. I haven't seen people say, you know what, she shouldn't have done that. Appeal to Putin's soft side if he has one. What difference does it make? Forget the petitions. Plead. Stop with the petitions and the protests. They mean nothing to people like Russian leaders like Putin. And I think you're about to find that out. And I know there's one guy that could probably get her out, but you're never going to call him. You're never going to call him because your pride won't let you call the one person that might help you get Brittney Griner home. Well, if you like this video, you want to see the one beforehand, go ahead and click here and you can see it. Talk to you soon, and thanks for indulging me.